In 2008, the landscape of English football shifted dramatically. The arrival of Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan marked a turning point not just for Manchester City, but for the entire Premier League. Sheikh Mansour bin Zayed Al Nahyan, a member of the Abu Dhabi royal family, purchased Manchester City. His entry into the world of English football was a statement of intent, signalling the dawn of a new era. This wasn't just another takeover, it was a seismic shift that promised to alter the competitive landscape of English football forever. It was the arrival of seemingly limitless wealth into a club starved of success. For years, Manchester City had languished in the shadows, overshadowed by their more illustrious neighbours, Manchester United. Manchester City, long in the shadow of their rivals Manchester United, were about to embark on a journey of unprecedented transformation. The club's fortunes were set to change dramatically. Prior to Sheikh Mansour's arrival, Manchester City were an afterthought. Their trophy cabinet, once a source of pride, had gathered dust for decades, a stark reminder of their fall from grace. They had a proud history, but a trophy cabinet that had gathered dust for decades. The club's glory days seemed like a distant memory, with fans yearning for a return to the top. The club bounced between divisions, a far cry from the giants of English football. Relegation battles and lower league matches were all too familiar for the long-suffering supporters. Fans yearned for the glory days, for a team that could challenge for top honours. The passion and loyalty of the supporters never wavered, even in the darkest times. Sheikh Mansour's investment promised to make those dreams a reality. His vision for the club was ambitious, aiming to transform Manchester City into a global powerhouse. The takeover was swift and decisive. Sheikh Mansour, through his Abu Dhabi United Group, acquired a controlling stake in the club, setting the stage for a new era of success. Sheikh Mansour, through his Abu Dhabi United Group, acquired a controlling stake in the club. The message was clear. Manchester City were now a force to be reckoned with. The message was clear. Manchester City were now a force to be reckoned with. The club's ambitions were no longer limited by financial constraints. Money, once a scarce commodity at the club, was now readily available. The influx of funds allowed City to attract top players and build a world-class infrastructure. The impact was immediate. The influx of funds allowed City to attract top players and build a world-class infrastructure. The impact was immediate. The club's training facilities underwent a major overhaul, creating a world-class environment for players to develop. Big-name signings arrived, injecting quality and experience into the squad. The likes of Robinho, Carlos Tevez and Yaya Toure were just the beginning of a new era of star-studded lineups. The club's training facilities underwent a major overhaul, creating a world-class environment for players to develop. The state-of-the-art Etihad campus became a symbol of the club's newfound ambition. Sheikh Mansour's investment wasn't just about short-term gain, it was about building a sustainable foundation for long-term success. The focus was on creating a legacy that would endure for generations. Manchester City were entering a new era, one fueled by ambition and backed by extraordinary wealth. The club's transformation was nothing short of remarkable, and the journey was only just beginning. The sky was the limit for Manchester City, and their fans could finally dream of a future filled with silverware and glory. Sheikh Mansour's arrival in English football drew immediate comparisons to Roman Abramovich's takeover of Chelsea in 2003. Both men entered the scene with a splash, bringing with them not just immense wealth, but also a vision to transform their respective clubs into powerhouses of European football. Both men were incredibly wealthy, and both had ambitious plans for their respective clubs. Their financial muscle allowed them to make significant investments in players, facilities and infrastructure, setting the stage for a new era in English football. However, the motivations behind their investments differed significantly. While both sought success on the pitch, their broader objectives and the ways they went about achieving them were quite distinct. Abramovich, a Russian oligarch, was seen as a private individual seeking personal glory through football. His investment in Chelsea was often viewed as a passion project, driven by his love for the game and a desire to be associated with a successful football club. Sheikh Mansour, on the other hand, represented the ambitions of a nation. His investment in Manchester City was part of a broader strategy to enhance the global standing of the United Arab Emirates, using football as a vehicle to project soft power and promote the country's image. Abramovich's Chelsea project was characterized by rapid spending and a ruthless pursuit of trophies. The club quickly became known for its aggressive transfer policy, bringing in top talent from around the world to build a squad capable of competing at the highest level. Managers came and went, judged solely on their ability to deliver silverware. The constant turnover of managers created a sense of instability, but it also underscored Abramovich's relentless drive for success. Sheikh Mansour, while also investing heavily, adopted a more measured approach. His strategy was not just about immediate success, but about building a sustainable model for the future. There was a clear strategy in place, a focus on building a club for the future, not just the present. Investments were made in the youth academy, training facilities, and long-term planning, ensuring that the club would remain competitive for years to come. The Abu Dhabi project went beyond mere sporting success. It was about enhancing the reputation of the United Arab Emirates on the global stage. Football was seen as a means to an end, a way to showcase the country's modernity, ambition, and global reach. It was about enhancing the reputation of the United Arab Emirates on the global stage. Sheikh Mansour's investment in Manchester City was part of a broader vision to position Abu Dhabi as a hub of culture, innovation, and excellence. Manchester City, with its global fan base and rich history, provided the perfect platform to achieve this. The club's success on the pitch would not only bring glory to the team, but also reflect positively on Abu Dhabi, showcasing its modernity and ambition. The club's success would reflect positively on Abu Dhabi, showcasing its modernity and ambition. The achievements of Manchester City were seen as a testament to the vision and resources of Sheikh Mansour and the broader goals of the UAE. This distinction in motivations is crucial to understanding the different trajectories of Chelsea and Manchester City. While both clubs achieved significant success, the underlying philosophies and long-term goals set them apart. While both clubs achieved significant success, City's rise felt more organic, more sustainable. The emphasis on long-term planning and investment in infrastructure created a foundation for enduring success rather than short-term gains. It was the result of a carefully crafted plan backed by the resources of a nation-state. The strategic vision of Sheikh Mansour and his team ensured that Manchester City would not only compete at the highest level, but also maintain its position as a leading club for years to come. Abramovich's Chelsea, while undoubtedly successful, always had an air of impermanence, a project driven by the whims of a single individual. The club's achievements were impressive, but the lack of a long-term strategy created a sense of uncertainty about its future. In contrast, Manchester City's success under Sheikh Mansour felt like the beginning of a new era, a carefully orchestrated rise to the top that promised sustainability and long-term growth. The club's achievements were not just a reflection of financial power, but of strategic vision and meticulous planning. Ultimately, the stories of Sheikh Mansour and Roman Abramovich highlight the different paths to success in modern football. Both men transformed their clubs, but their legacies will be defined by the distinct approaches they took and the lasting impact they left on the game. The initial reaction to Sheikh Mansour's takeover was a mixture of excitement and skepticism. Fans, starved of success, dared to dream of a brighter future. They envisioned a new era where their beloved club could finally compete at the highest levels, challenging the traditional powerhouses of English football. The promise of new investments and high-profile signings brought a sense of hope and anticipation. Supporters began to imagine the possibilities, picturing their team lifting trophies and making history. Rivals, however, scoffed at the nouveau riche upstarts. Many believed that money alone wouldn't buy success, that Manchester City lacked the history and pedigree to compete with the established elite. They saw the influx of cash as a temporary boost, not a sustainable path to glory. Critics pointed to the club's humble beginnings and questioned whether it could ever truly rival the storied histories of clubs like Manchester United, Liverpool and Arsenal. The scepticism was palpable, and the pressure on Sheikh Mansour and his team was immense. The early years of Sheikh Mansour's reign did little to dispel these doubts. While big money signings arrived, success on the pitch proved elusive. The team struggled to find cohesion and the results were inconsistent. High-profile players came and went, but the elusive formula for success remained out of reach. The media was quick to criticise, and rival fans took every opportunity to mock the club's perceived failures. Critics pointed to City's extravagant spending as evidence of their lack of a coherent plan. They argued that the club was trying to buy success without building a solid foundation. The term "plastic club" became a common refrain, suggesting that Manchester City lacked the soul and tradition of their rivals. They were dismissed as a plastic club, lacking the soul and tradition of their rivals. The narrative was that money could not buy history, and without it, true success would always be out of reach. However, as the years passed, perceptions began to shift. The club's management started to make more strategic decisions, focusing on long-term growth rather than short-term gains. The investments in infrastructure and youth development began to pay off. Sheikh Mansour's commitment to the club never wavered. He continued to invest heavily, not just in players, but in infrastructure and youth development. His vision extended beyond the immediate future, aiming to build a legacy that would endure for generations. The construction of state-of-the-art facilities and the development of a world-class academy were key components of this vision. Young players were given the resources and opportunities to develop their talents, ensuring a steady pipeline of homegrown talent for the first team. Slowly but surely, a clear vision began to emerge, one that extended far beyond simply buying trophies. The club was building a sustainable model for success, one that combined financial investment with strategic planning and a commitment to developing young talent. The appointment of Pep Guardiola as manager in 2016 marked a turning point. Guardiola, widely regarded as one of the greatest managers of all time, brought with him a philosophy of football that emphasized skill, intelligence and teamwork. Guardiola, widely regarded as one of the greatest managers of all time, instilled a winning mentality and a distinct playing style. His meticulous approach to coaching and his ability to get the best out of his players transformed the team. Trophies followed, silencing the doubters and establishing Manchester City as the dominant force in English football. The team began to win consistently, and the style of play was lauded by fans and pundits alike. The Sheikh's project, once met with skepticism, had blossomed into a spectacle of sporting excellence. The club's success on the pitch was matched by its growth off it, with a global fan base and a reputation for excellence in all areas of the game. The journey from skepticism to admiration was complete, and Manchester City had firmly established itself as a powerhouse in world football.